Let's get into it. You ready?
Yeah, definitely.
Your top 5, maybe some surprises along the way.
Well, yeah,
there's always do that.
You know that. There's going to be a surprise here. There's no question. And again, it's I wasn't trying to make a surprise. That's for sure. In fact, I made a surprise in my top 5, as I told you before this, that it bothered me so much that I almost put the guy in the top 5 just because of outside circumstances. But I've got to stay true to my evaluation on what I see on the field, and that's where I stopped. So we'll get into that.
Left shoulder was the angel that was like, I saw the tape. I just didn't like the tape.
Exactly right.
The right shoulder was the devil going clickbait. What are you doing? Why are you doing that clickbait?
That's what you're going to be called. Exactly. That's what bothered me. It's going to be clickbait. It's going to be, piling on a certain person maybe. And because there was piling on going already, I don't want to be a part of that. But that's where it's going to be tough, and we'll get into that. That's what they call a tease.
That's a tease. That's a deep tease.
Good. Deep tease.
At the top of the rankings here. We'll start with number 5, and this one might be a surprise too, because I usually at number 5 you do like to, highlight a player that maybe I don't know. You always do this, but a player that might be not getting all the love, and he's not in a lot of people's top 5, but he's in your top 5.
He is in my top 5. I think his name is probably starting to get around a little bit more in these conversations, and I can see why. And that's Nik Bonitto. Nik Bonitto from Oklahoma. That's right, OU. The team that owned me in college, and thank God Nik Bonitto was not coming after me in college. This arguably, and here just start off with the banner statement. He's 6'3", 248. He's a phenomenal athlete. I mean, phenomenal. And I would say out of all these guys, and maybe out of everybody out of the edge prospects, was the best in-space edge defender of everybody. Also, maybe the most naturally gifted pass rusher of the whole group as well. All right. So there's some things here to look at to where you go, wow. All right. Great body, great pair of legs. I love that. Okay. The athleticism, like I said, the real deal. Not only, just straight ahead explosion off the ball, but where this guy's a little different is the side to side movements, and what I found interesting, and we're going to get into this as we go, a lot of guys in this draft, for whatever reason, that win with quickness. And people might go, what do you mean with quickness? Well, I know we can go with speed around the corner and get there, or the old power move, and I'm just going to jam my head into the guy's chest and push him back. But the ability to get guys a little bit like, wait, is he going to go inside or is he going to go outside? And they have almost like receiver ability to be like they're going to break either way, and they get a guy leaning and they go the other way, and it's unbelievable. Bonitto was very special that way, let alone I would argue that his first step was up there with anybody in the draft coming off the football, and then the most natural bend in the draft as a pass rusher. And again, the bend, the ability to, I'm coming at you, right? Here we go, boom, I'm coming at you, and all of a sudden go, like this around the edge of the offensive tackle to where he's blocking you, and all of a sudden he makes this quick move and gets around, and they can't get there and move their feet enough to block him, and now he turns the corner and gets a sack or a strip sack.
Is that flexibility and balance?
And pure power in your ass and legs, and that's why you got to look at that part of the body for these kind of guys, yes. Because, again, he's 248, he's 6'3". He's going to be playing men that are much bigger than him, 70, 80 pounds bigger, sometimes 100 pounds bigger. You got to have a special attribute about you to be able to handle, that type of size difference. And that's where he is. Legs are real, power's real down there. Now, he's not as powerful as some of the top guys we're going to talk about as we go on here. Like I said, he's a little bit more of a speed space guy. Sometimes he wins with just his quickness. Wait, you're going to block me? Wait, I'm just going to make you miss, and then I'm going to run behind you and get the ball carrier in the backfield. He's really good with that. Open field tackling, phenomenal. All right, so everything. And then when I talk about the strength and power, it's not like I was like, oh, man, this guy gets killed. He's not the guy you're going to look at to go, he's going to dominate great run-blocking tight ends all the time. Or, he'll be fine all game long against an offensive tackle in the run game. No, he's going to lose some here and there. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like it's like, oh, no. Against college players, he very rarely gets physically moved or loses a battle. He can set the edge. He can get off blockers. He's not as good in that department as some of the guys we're going to talk about here in a minute.
Right.
But damn, he's a good football player. And, no question a first rounder for me. No question.
So number 5 is already a first rounder.
No doubt about it. Not the athlete and the pass rusher combined, and then the player who's got some natural instincts to him, and then there's some versatility here. Mm-hmm. This is not this is a true weak side 4-3 defense end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just get out wide and fly after the quarterback. Nik Bonitto, Robert Mathis, right? Jerry Hughes. He's that kind of guy. Even I wrote Hassan Reddick, right? Because that's Hassan Reddick. The measurables are very the same. You know who else where I want to go to where he could be? I wrote Micah Parsons down too, because he stands up and plays stand-up linebacker a lot. And he's very good, like I talk about, in pursuit of a football, you know, having a nose for, oh, wait, they ran the ball. They're asking me to be the quarterback spy, right? And they ran it. And he breaks down and makes tackles like a linebacker. So he's very much along those lines to where I go, can you play him at linebacker and then Micah Parsons third down, put him at defensive end? You know, Hassan Reddick does some of that too. But either way, I was really impressed with the athlete all around, the explosiveness, can really stick his foot in the ground coming around the corner as a pass rusher. And like I said, maybe the most natural pass rusher of the whole draft.
So Nik Bonitto getting some love from you here. Yeah, he's got that athletic ability, but you've already mentioned the elephant in the room here, and it's his size.
Right.
And Mock Draftable, I think, has all the measurables right here if you're watching on Peacock or on YouTube. And so all the quickness things, the vertical jump, the athletic ability, boom, off the charts.
That's right.
All the height, weight, you know, wingspan, arm length, hand size, all in like the 10 to 15 to 20% range.
Right.
And so the fear, and you've already mentioned it, is that it was passable in college,
right?
But yet he'll be dominated and he'll be exposed in the NFL. But you don't see that.
I saw nobody dominate him, period, in college,
right.
And he still got to play against some NFL offensive tackle type of players,
and
right?
He played well against Texas,
exactly, no doubt about
Longhorns.
it. No doubt about it. Right, so there's plenty to go there to go, wait a minute, he's never going to be physically overmatched. And, you know, I when I'm watching these guys, I have some things pulled up about what other people have said about them and all that. You know, there's concerns about him setting the edge and stuff like that in the run game. I want to go, whenever he was in a defense that wanted him to set the edge, he sets it. See, where people misevaluate sometimes is sometimes on the snap, he's told to shoot an inside gap. And then he gets blocked down, and people think, well, he didn't set the edge in the run game. They ran outside him. And I want to go, hey, he was supposed to shoot inside there. Mm-hmm. That was his job. He can't go shoot inside and set the edge. If he can, he needs to be picked first pick of the draft. All right, so that's where, you know, I think there was a little bit of over-evaluating of that as I looked in, because there's so many of these plays where I went, wait, it's second game I'm watching. Anytime he was asked to set the edge, he set it. He never lost a battle there. So, yes, but this is, he's a different guy. Again, this is not the guy you want, you know, head up on one of the best tackles in football on a 3rd and short and go, you gotta stop this guy and make the play in the run game.
Yeah, if you're looking for a 3-down guy, he might not be your cup of tea.
He's made for like Seattle's scheme, you know, Jets, you know, the Jets, the 49ers, you know, those teams, the Colts even, you know, the Cowboys. That's Michael, you know, again, the guys that go, wait, we're into speed and shooting gaps, and we're just going to put you out here wide. And that's why I said Nik Bonitto, you know, Robert Mathis, Jerry Hughes. Those are the guys. They have the similar. He's bigger than Nik Bonitto is coming out. So, you know, that's the kind of player it is. It's a speed space player with a little difference as far as they're concerned, those guys, and the versatility of being a stand-up linebacker. And that's why I said the Micah Parsons, or you remember Bruce Irvin from back in the day, right? Similar to that, too. I could see this guy kind of having a similar role like that.
That's interesting. You know, it's like he might not be the cup of tea for everyone. He can't do everything, but do you have enough usable skills and elite skills to make you very useful to a lot of teams out there?
Yes.
And he does.
He does. No question. He's too good of an athlete. He's too good of a natural pass rusher. And to me, that's where I do think he goes somewhere, you know, towards the later part of the first round.
Nik Bonitto out of Oklahoma, your number 5 edge rusher. You've already said number 5 is in the first round, so all these guys are in the first round.
I think so.
Would you even go maybe to say 6 and 7?
6 and 7 could be too.
Oh, so you think maybe?
I think it could be one of those years. It could be. That's where this draft, as I start to go through here, and like I said, I got to get to offensive tackles, but man, I mean, the offensive tackle list seems like it never ends either.
Do we have our friends over at PointsBet on the over/under on first rounders and off the edge? We'll have to get to that a little bit later on, but now it's time to get to number 4.
Yeah,
number 4 edge rusher,
George Karlaftis from Purdue. All right.
You're saying that right, too.
I did. I said it right? Okay. I got a little
so.
experience with like the Greek names growing up in New Jersey. I think that's a Greek name, Karlaftis.
So he's been ridiculed a little bit.
Right.
George is such a lame name. You got the name Karlaftis.
Right.
It's like, that's awesome.
Right.
Like Damolitis.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Demolitis. Right.
It's like
little
And then Pete. Although I like the name Pete. I think it's making a comeback right now.
Right.
Karlaftis. Before we get into all the things that George does well, we got to make sure we are getting the name right. And so I think he was talking about this. Where was this, Pete? He was talking on a podcast recently over at Barstool Sports, and so we got a George talking about his names. Let's get this right.
So he kept his Greek name, right? So my Greek name is Yorgos. Dude, it's not George. Like in Greece, like if I would talk Greek to you right now, it'd be Yas Yorgos, like hey George, right? Yanni in Greek is Yanni. Giannis. So so his American name, English name, if you translate Yanni, it'd be John. Like John doesn't, it's not super cool.
John Karlaftis.
That
would be solid.
And it's easy to say too. So Yorgos is not super easy to say. Yanni's pretty easy to say, right?
So that's his younger brother Yanni, who's also a defender at Purdue. And so they're keeping it on the family there in West Lafayette. They moved from Athens, Greece, not that long ago.
Man, Greek gods, literally over here.
Started playing football in the 8th grade, George. So I guess his real name's not George, but we're going to go with George because we can say that better.
Yeah, right.
All that aside, seems like a good dude.
Great dude. Awesome football player. Sorry with the F word, but I had to go. It just
wow.
Yeah.
Why would you apologize?
I don't know why I apologize either. You, I'll do it again. All right. Just this guy's a football player. I mean, it's just again disruptive. It's all about short area quicks, explosion, and just creating chaos. As a pure pass rusher, it was better than I expected. When I just saw some of the measurables and things and the body type, I went, I don't know. But then, I mean, first off, I'll just say this. The twitch and some of the quickness, it pops right away. Just right away. You turn on the film and you see him, wait, it's a run play. The way he got off the ball and threw somebody down to the ground to make the tackle, you go, holy crap. Like he did that in a hurry. He did it violently and he did it easy. Like that's where he jumps off. And then you start to watch and you go, well, damn. I mean, he holds his own against everybody. He gets off of blocks against everybody. He's got an explosive first step and some good hands to go along with it in the pass rush. Has a little bit of a power rush move. He doesn't have great speed as a pure speed pass rusher. He's got a great first step. He doesn't necessarily have steps 2, 3, and 4 to sometimes turn the corner like some of these other guys like Nik Bonitto, who we just talked about. He could do that. But it's still good speed around the corner. But I think the thing that's like more impressive to him with anything is just how he gets off blocks, how disruptive he is. He can shoot gaps. He can win with power rushing the passer, and has this thing where I never wrote this down in years past, and I write it down with maybe 4 of the 5 guys this year in the top 5. You always hear me say speed to power, right? The old speed. He's going around the edge to win with speed and then realizes, wait, I'm not going to be able to get around. So now I'm going to put my foot in the ground and take that tackle and drive him to the quarterback, right? That's speed to power. These guys have quicks to power, which is really like weird. Like I never wrote it down so many times as I did this year. And what I mean by that is, they have such great ability to shake and then shoot a gap, or I'm gonna shake and get you leaning one way and go around you on the outside. I'm gonna shake and get you leaning one way and then shoot on the inside, and they get you off balance that way to where it becomes a real thing. And just like a great speed rusher, when they start getting beat by speed, the tackles, oh gosh, I gotta get back there, and because they're worried about the speed, they lose their ability to anchor against the power. Right. This guy does the same thing, but through the quickness thing where he gets you leaning and, oh, no, he's about to make this move on me. And all of a sudden he just goes, boom, and he hits you with his hands in his chest and your chest, and they push people back that way. So it's quicks to power. The shake
Pete
ability.
wants to go with shimmy to power.
Yeah,
I like
shimmy
that.
to power.
Shimmy to
I like
power.
that too. Shimmy to power, shake to power, quicks to power, whatever. I was trying to think of like a cool phrase that could maybe catch on.
Shake and bake to power?
Shake and bake to power. Because it really is. The guy is really impressive at the point of attack.
Is there anyone in the NFL who has that quick to power? Like who do we see in the NFL who does that?
It's
I
rare.
You think
it's yeah. That's a good question. I should have come up with some.
No, that's interesting. Though. If it is that rare, it could
is
create some problems for some offensive linemen who haven't seen that ability.
Like TJ Watt can do that a little bit. TJ Watt has got very good short area quickness to where he can get you, oh, wait, is he going inside, is he outside? And then all of a sudden you're bracing for one of those moves, and he hits you in the chest. So there's one right off the bat that I would go, oh, that popped in my head right away. I saw it a little bit from our man Micah Parsons this year. He can do that as well. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else out here. I don't know. Those are the ones that jump out to me the most as far as just that quicks to power. But really, I think the thing that's more impressive than anything is the way he can shoot off the ball and get his hands on blockers, whether that's a tight end or a tackle, and dominate them in that aspect. And here you see, if you're watching on YouTube, you could see the body's real. I mean, this is a guy that's 6'4", 266, and he's ripped. He's cut. It's Greek goddish. It really is. He's got ass and legs to go with it. So, there's not a lot to not like about the kid. He is bendable and pliable, like you see in these drills. And why does that matter? Well, hey, being able to bend around the edge, like we talked about, he's pretty good in that department, even though I just said his speed isn't top notch. But the other thing is getting blocked and, oh, wait, the guy's kind of got me and I'm bent in this awkward position and I'm going to still throw you to the ground. Even though you kind of had me, I'm throwing you to the ground and I got off the block and I made the tackle, and throws his body around that way. That's what I loved. And I just thought this was a really good all-around football player who has better pass rush ability than I expected. And he's got incredible power and strength as far as pushing offensive tackles, guards around. And then, like I said, his short area explosiveness, I think, is really special. The guy, I kind of looked at him, and it was a guy from his old school. I wrote, this guy's a better version of Ryan Kerrigan to me coming out of the draft. He's a more, maybe not quite the gifted pass rusher, but I think a better player and a more disruptive player than Kerrigan was 10 years ago or so.
There's a lot of projection with Karlaftis, not in a bad way, in a good way. It's like he, as I said before, he started playing football in the 8th grade, moved over from Athens, Greece. When you call him a Greek god, he quite literally almost is. Pro Football Focus said, quote, he can legitimately line up inside.
He can
full time.
He definitely can. He could be. This is where he'll be able to do it at times in college. I mean, in the NFL, it's not going to be a thing you're going to want regularly. But I think a third down, if you wanted to put him inside on a guard, he definitely can. And if you were like, oh, wait, but if they run the running back or quarterback draw, we're going to be screwed. I'm going to go, no, you're not. He's good enough to hold his own, a few plays a game on a guard and a run play or whatever else. But that's the kind of strength we're talking about. I didn't mean to cut you off. No. Continue to go on if there's anything else.
And he just turned 21 this past week, and so
he's
young. So why is he not higher? What were the red flags? Pass rush?
I mean, maybe. I mean, only thing I could think of is maybe that people don't love the pass rush.
Yeah.
There's not enough length maybe in the arms, but I don't look at it that way. I don't really know.
One thing that
where do you see people putting him at?
Let me read a couple of things. The cons here on George. One was said that he struggled to prevent being widened by Ohio State tackles. Movements tend to be a bit segmented. Running backs are able to dart through his gaps. Did you see any of that? That's some of the stuff from NFL.com.
Gosh, I really didn't.
Did not.
I did not. I came away really quite impressed with the Ohio State game. I can't think of plays where I go, I never saw any play or anything where I went, oh, he's being physically overmatched or he can't handle this. Never.
Yeah.
I'm big into that. You know that. I'm big into, okay, does he win a lot of plays and how many does he lose? This is a guy that doesn't really lose plays. Bonitto, who we talked about a little before, makes a lot of plays, creates some plays, but because of the size, there's some plays every now and then where, he loses it. The tight end is just bigger than him and gets a hold of him and moves him back 3 or 4 yards. I never saw that with this guy. Never. And, the thing that I loved more than anything, and again, I think where we're getting into here too, again, is what was the player asked to do? I would go back and I want to be in my mind, go to the Ohio State game and go, man, anytime they got outside of him, he was supposed to go inside. It wasn't like a guy that was being pushed down and blocked down oh, no, I'm stuck. I can't get off it. I mean, one of the things I love about him more than anything is just he can get off blocks as good as anybody in the draft. He can make blockers miss too. He's got, again, that short area explosiveness and quicks to sidestep a guy and then still get back right in the gap behind the guy that was trying to block him and make the tackle that way.
So you like him a lot.
I like him a lot.
This makes sense that you think this is a really good group, maybe the best you've seen so far.
Where do you think people are like marking him at? Where is he?
No, I don't know. I think maybe it's the same thing as you.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are high on him, but there are a lot of really good edge rushers in this class.
Yeah.
And so you just like other people a little bit more. I mean, he's number 4 for you.
Yeah.
Even though you like a lot of things about him.
I really do. And a lot of things about him, the 3 we're going to talk about in front of him are really freaking good.
So where do you think he goes into a draft? Where should he go?
Gosh, I mean, I think I wrote he's somewhere around 20. That's what I ended up writing down. I kind of looked at him as like he could go 18, 19, 20. Maybe a little after. Maybe I need to pull off the draft order a little bit here just to look at this a little. But I wouldn't be shocked as far as if that's where it went for him. I wouldn't. I'm trying to think here. Again, let's see. Houston's got no edge rushers. I don't know if he's a Lovie Smith guy. Okay, Baltimore, he would be that kind of guy for them. Outside linebacker.
Where does Baltimore pick?
They're at 14. Zadarius Smith-ish kind of guy. Matthew Don, just big, physical, strong guy on the edge, just violent, right? Philadelphia Eagles, there's a need for some edge defender there in Philly of just free agency. There's nothing there that they did special. So I don't know. There's a few teams that just in that range alone that you look at that could use them. So I don't know. But again, I think he's a really good football player. And I think he's, again, another guy that goes, stats don't really say it with him.
Sure.
It's the amount of plays that he get involved in and around the football and creates problem that I thought were very impressive.
So you like him a lot. Mid-first round pick, you think, for George
Karlaftis.
Or YOLO.
YOLO?
YOLO?
Is that what it was?
You only live once. Yorgo.
Yeah,
Pete.
Thank you, Pete.
Yeah, Pete goes, we ran that whole thing, and you
us.
don't even remember it. Okay, so that's number 4. So that means your top 3 you think are solidly in the top 15.
100%.
And there have been a couple players who've been talked about as possible number 1 picks, so that's maybe not a surprise for them. But right now, into your top 3, your number 3 edge rusher in the class of 2022.
Jermaine Johnson II from Florida State. I mean, maybe my favorite body of everybody. This is like, he has your Khalil Mack, Lawrence Taylor, traditional edge guy look, right? When he just stands there or puts the hand down, you just go, man, I don't know, but he just looks good. I don't know what it is. I mean, he was one of those guys. As soon as you turn on the film, you went, wow, looks the part. Now let's see what it looks like, when you turn it on.
He's a dude, 6'5", 254, didn't qualify for college out of high school. You may have seen him on Last Chance U. Do you ever watch that on Netflix?
I've heard of it.
He was on that.
Really?
Jermaine Johnson was on that, then ended up going to Georgia. Didn't play much at Georgia, so they didn't see it. They didn't see that body and go, wow, get him out there. Had to go to Florida State and finally got his chance.
Yeah, well, hey, we've seen in college football, Georgia's got some guys that have some bodies like that, too.
That's true.
So they're probably
that is true.
And, again, this is where it goes into Georgia probably likes a guy that's even naturally bigger, like a bigger human being. They might ask their guys a 2-gap to where, again, he might have been good, but maybe not as good at some of those things as maybe they wanted, whatever. But, like, right off the bat at 254, the first thing I wrote down, like, the incredible play strength. Incredible play strength. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. At 254, tackles, tight ends, it's domination. He dominates tackles. There's no way you can expect a tight end to block him. So that would be the first thing I would tell you. And then as far as like the pure speed and pass rusher, to me, he would be, after Nik Bonitto, the next guy where I go, oh, you talk about getting around the edge with bend, and then, or just win with their pure speed around the edge. Jermaine Johnson and Nik Bonitto are going to lead the class in that department, in my opinion, just from that pure speed pass rusher department. But this guy's a really good freaking football player, like everything else too. And that's where he separates himself from maybe a Bonitto, and then like Karlaftis, he has all the stuff Karlaftis does, except he's a better pure pass rusher. That's where I came away. I was expecting to see a guy that says off the edge, great pass rusher. But what I was more impressed with than anything is just, again, I think how violent he is in the short areas. The way he can just get off the ball and crush a blocker right off the ball, and then just relentless and reckless. And that. I love that. I love reckless. This is a freaky position. You got to be a freak of nature and a crazy mofo. And he's the kind of guy that, these are the type of things I look for. Get off a block. Wait, there's a running back running at me, to my right, full speed with his head down. Screw it. I'll throw my body out there in front of him and stop him right there. There's a lot of that to where I just go, man, what a man, what a play, what a football player. So that's what I loved about him. And, even 6'5", 254, the ability to lock out, right? And then disengage. I thought I wrote, and I want to see where his eyes into the backfield to me were as good as the top guys in the draft or anybody in this draft. And what I mean to that is, set hut, the ball snap, the guy's blocking, he's holding it out, and he knows exactly where the ball is. He's not just into the guy blocking him like, oh, I got to beat you. Oh, wait, the ball ran by me? He is very aware as he's holding his ground and pushing the guy or holding his ground to go, oh, wait, the runner's coming here. Oh, let me get him set up to get there. Oh, wait, no, he went the other way. Let me throw the guy back over and get him that way. Yeah. He never loses sight of the ball, whether it's a run play or a pass rush. It's very important in the sport in general if you're going to play some of the defenses NFLs are playing right now.
Yeah, I mentioned he's kind of a late bloomer. Didn't really play a ton until he got to Florida State. But when he got to Florida State, he played a lot. He played about all game, averaged 61 snaps per game, according to Pro Football Focus. And so you do think about that a little bit in this game of football, violent game of football.
Yeah.
He hasn't played a ton in game action in his college career. He is 23 years old. I don't know if that factors in at all. On I
think
guys.
With a guy like this, when you see the production, which I'm always like, okay, that's a little bit overrated. But you see production disruption, and then you start to go, whoa, wait, Andy's only played like this? And I don't come away going, oh, there's only one area of his game that I have an issue with? Again, you make my top 5 for the most part, you better be winning a lot of battles and almost never lose a battle. And those were important to me. And that's where he doesn't lose battles that way. He doesn't. But no, I think to your point and your question, I think that for a guy like that, that's a kind of a positive to go, wait, he's doing that and he really hasn't played that much and hasn't been coached to do some of the things. And one of the last things I wrote down to your point here, and I think this is a perfect point to add it, is as the year goes on, what I like to see is you started to see a variety of pass rush moves. It started to become a little bit more, oh, here's a spin move. Oh, here's a, punch it and rip them down and go around the edge. And I started to go, because early in the year, it was just like, I'm going to win with speed or I'm going to fake the speed and come underneath and do it that way, right?
Right.
And you started to go, oh, okay, wow, okay. And again, you're seeing it against the Boston Colleges of the world, great offensive lines, the Clemsons of the world, the Notre Dames of the world, where I go, these are NFL offensive linemen he's going against, and he's giving them issues. Huge fan of this guy. He is a T.J. Watt, Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn type of football player, in my opinion. That's what I look at him as. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's, he's a top 10 pick, in my opinion. He's a top 10 pick.
And I know at the Senior Bowl, I believe, or somewhere late, where
right.
he was awesome.
Yes.
And people really liked him.
The Senior Bowl, I think you're right.
Was it the Senior Bowl?
Yep.
Yeah, it was a Senior Bowl.
And I
he
haven't
looked
even
awesome
watched
there.
those clips. I need to
You
watch
didn't
because
see that.
people always said they were really he's impressive there.
I
right.
like him even more
right.
after that. The hesitation was that he didn't do it a ton in college. But like you said, he was playing behind some guys at Georgia. And that is the funny thing about underdeveloped or, like you mentioned, didn't have a whole lot of moves
right.
In this draft process. Sometimes that's to the player's benefit, right? You're like, I can teach him that. I can teach him
right.
that. It's
exactly
like if you have
right.
a refined product,
right.
you're like, there's not a whole lot I can do with this guy.
Definitely.
But every coach looks at that and like, I can teach him this.
There's definitely that. I can mold him. I can make him into this guy's good already. I give him these 2 moves. Watch out.
So there's some of that with Jermaine Johnson.
There definitely is some of that. And, we'll get into Georgia and what they want their defensive ends to do here in a minute, okay? I mean, just spoiler alert, right? Somebody from Georgia's coming up soon.
Why don't we do it right now?
I mean, I will, but I'm going to just end with this guy just one more time. I just want to make sure there was nothing else I missed there because you were going to make a point. But, okay, to your point here. 3-4 outside linebacker, no doubt, can do that. Now,
what does a 3-4 outside linebacker need to do?
3-4 outside linebacker is going to be, you're going to have your 3 down linemen and the 3-4, right? Your 3 linemen. You got a nose tackle, and then you're going to have 2 bigger Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner type of guys that are your defensive ends. They're like hybrids, defensive ends, defensive tackles.
They're more tackles than they are ends.
A little bit,
yeah.
right? They're athletic big men who can kind of do both. We can put you on the edge. You're not the fastest, but you're really powerful for out there.
Right.
We can put you on the inside, and you're plenty powerful to handle, this, but maybe don't have the best anchor when double teams or stuff like that. But yes, it's those kind of guys that would be head up on a tackle, and now you got the outside linebackers outside of them, right? So, if it's the tight, they're going to be on the outside shoulder of the tight end. If it's the weak side, they'll be, with nobody basically on them and have a free edge, right? So that's the 3-4 outside linebacker. He's going to be phenomenal at that. He's amazing in space, tackling, running people down, going to be able to drop back into pass coverage. This is TJ Watt. That's what he does for Pittsburgh. And then it's, they're getting into a passing formation, put your hand down, and we need you at defense end, right? Weak side, rush the passer, go get him. That's what he is. So it's 3-4 outside linebacker or weak side. Again, get wide, go get the quarterback. And that's why I said the Jets. The Jets at 10, they need a pass rusher. Jermaine Johnson II, to me, would fit a Nick Bosa-ish type of presence that they want coming off the edge to be a real force rushing the passer.
Strong group. We're already talking top 10.
Yeah.
With your number 3 edge rusher in this class. Played at Georgia, didn't play a whole lot because you mentioned there are some dudes at Georgia. They're pretty good.
Yes, they are. And the one we're going to go to right now is Travon Walker, who is a dude that is pretty good.
Your number 2 edge rusher out of Georgia.
Wow. Maybe the freakiest guy of all. He's the freakiest guy of all these guys. Let's just start there. It's the freakiest guy of everybody in the draft at the edge. There's incredible strength. You know what you're going to get as a player. He's got the most versatility probably of any of the edge guys in this whole draft. And when you say that and you go, what do you mean edge versatility? I mean, he's so athletic. He's not going to do this. 3-4 outside linebacker, he could do it. He could do it. I don't think that's where he's going to be. Strong side defense end in the 4-3, with the tight end side. No problem. Weak side, rush the passer. Sure, no problem. 3-4, be a man-child like DeForest Buckner like we were just talking about. Oh, okay, no problem. Oh, wait, it's third down, go to 3 technique and play defensive tackle now, like Aaron Donald, and be that. Okay, no problem. He, to me, has the most ability to do a lot of different things on the defensive side of the ball, which gives him value. And you get to see him do it just about every spot. So it's not like you're projecting that way. In fact, the thing you get to see him do the least is the thing he's getting drafted for at the highest spot for. Because this guy is going in the top 5 of the draft. Travon Walker is going in the top 5. I could have easily made him 1B to my 1A. He's that good. It's that close, all right? And the thing you don't get to see him do the most is just let him get out wide, put his hand to the ground, and go rush the passer.
Because they don't do that.
They don't do that. They do a little bit of what we've been talking about, and this is where the Jermaine Johnson thing play. They want a little bit more of a, size, a bigger guy that sometimes might have to line up head up on the tackle. Or if they are outside, it's not like pass rushing, get way outside out there. It's just barely get on the outside edge. Georgia asked their defensive linemen to hold their ground, hold the point of attack, right? Does that make a sense, Ahmed?
Yep,
They're not allowed to just fly upfield and go. They're asked to get off the ball, control the guy in front of you, and don't let him move you, and now let our awesome linebackers fill in the gaps behind that, because we know you got that gap, and the other first-round D tackles got that gap, and the other first-round D tackles got that gap, and the third-round D ends got that gap.
Yeah.
So you guys hold those gaps down, and we might ask one of those 2 guys to go 2 gaps, and then we can get our awesome middle linebackers to do it. So he doesn't get the free reign of just pin your ears back and fly and go get the guy like maybe some of these other guys do in the draft.
Because they're you're 272. You can do that. You can manhandle these guys. 20 pounds bigger than Jermaine Johnson, who we just talked about. Do we have the measurables from Travon Walker? Because I think that's when he started to really pop for a lot of people, when he went to the Combine and did this whole thing, if you're watching on Peacock or YouTube, from Mock Draftable again. So basically everything is green here, which means he's in the 80th to 70th to 90th percentile in everything. We're talking height, weight, wingspan, broad jump, 3-cone drill, 40-yard dash. 98th percentile 40-yard dash for a guy his size and his position. So his measurables are off the chart.
Off the charts.
Right? did that show up? But like you said, it didn't show up on tape because he's not asked to do that. And there is a clip circulating out there on Twitter of one of the defensive coaches for Georgia. He's like, one of the big knocks on us is that we don't get enough sacks, we don't pressure the quarterback enough. And he goes, and I agree with that. I think we might have to change a few things to speak to what you were saying.
They don't play that style.
Why his production might be down.
That's why you got to be careful with Georgia and Alabama defensive linemen. You got to remember what they're being asked to do. Saban, Kirby Smart, they don't just go. They just don't do that. It's a little bit more of a measured approach. It's like Bill Belichick up in New England. They're kind of playing a defense to stop everything, not just do one thing a little bit.
Here's my fear, though.
Yeah,
here's my fear.
But you get to see everything.
Yes.
So just so you know, there's not like, I don't get to ever see any of this. You just want to see some of it more. As far as
the frequency of there are times you see him do what you're saying here.
Exactly.
But the fear is that the Georgia coaches are not idiots, right?
Right.
I mean, it's like they have their system, yes. But the fear is that some of the stuff he was not asked to do, they did not feel he could do. Because if a guy that freaky that can do all that stuff and is so fast and that big, it's like you don't even need to be a college coach to identify that.
Right.
As it just let him
go.
I know. So that would be the fear.
I hear the fear.
What did they see, or what are they really that bad? Did they really not see his ability?
No,
or are there things that they fear?
I think it's more of this is we can be elite if we play defense this way, and we're special. And we don't need to, let a guy just be out here to, yes, maybe cause 7 or 8 plays a game that we go, wow, but also there could be 7 or 8 plays because we're just letting them go way out there that they run a few plays to where the other offense goes, wow, on us and makes a big play. Mm-hmm. So that's why they're so good and so talented that way that's just the style of play they're going to play. But there's still plenty to piece together here to go, if you want to widen this guy out, I mean, his first step, it's phenomenal. When he explodes a straight line, it's comical. I mean, whether he's running a quarterback down or a running back in the backfield, I mean, it looks weird because you're like, wait, this big guy is accelerating faster than the running back who's trying to run away from him. So that's what's amazing. And then, bend is good. It's not like I don't sit there and go, oh wow, like it's not as good as Johnson or Nik Bonitto.
It's funny you mentioned that because one of the knocks on him is a limited bend.
It's not a top-notch bend that way. But where he makes up for it, of course, is incredible straight ahead explosion to where he can win around the corner just with pure speed. Because step 1 and 2 and 3 are all fast. And then you go, oh gosh, he's getting around. And then where he makes up for the lack of bend too, of course, is incredible power to where he's the kind of guy that if he just goes full speed and goes, like, forget a move or anything, if he just runs into you and takes his arm, like, most everybody goes back. So he has that aspect.
So he's got the power. Sorry to interrupt you, but he's got the power but he works a little bit higher, perhaps.
He works higher, 100%.
Which maybe in the NFL.
Yeah, well, yes. At defense end, though, you can get away with this. Yeah. And I would worry about it if I saw, like, issues with it in strength throughout the game. But you don't ever see. I mean, this guy, he annihilates everybody.
Sure.
All right, and that's right. And then to the out of the part of like your question of it, then bend, because there's not the great superstar bend, but his 3-cone. That's where, like, if we could put this back up in his measurables, Pete, if you get a chance, maybe it's too late, but
93rd percentile.
It's a 6'8", 9 3-cone. That's like elite wide receiver. In fact, some of the elite receivers in the draft that we've talked about already did not run 6'8", 9 and the 3-cone. That's insane at 272 pounds. That's insane. So even though he might not now, like, if you guys don't mind just coming back to me on my solo or the 2-shot.
Jeez, you're directing the show now. Kristen, you can take lunch.
But even though he might not be able to do this, right? We're talking about the bend.
Yeah.
He can, be a little upright and be going so fast and put his foot in the ground and still go around the corner in a way to where it makes up for maybe that lack of bend that we're talking about. He's really a very fluid, bendable athlete as a whole.
Yeah.
Just as that pass rush, you don't get that traditional really low lean because he is a little bit more high cut. You can't have it all, right? I mean, you can't have it all, and that's maybe one area that he's missing just a little bit.
Pete, where was he being mocked before the combine? Like, where was he? I know he blew up after the combine.
He blew up at not only the combine, but this is where to our classic case that we talk about a lot.
Yeah.
I promise you what happened with this kid as coaches started to finally watch. They started to go, no, these, hey, area scouts, these plays where you think he's not doing as good, he's doing exactly what he's told to do. It's just not sexy, but they want him just to hold the ground or two gap like we talked about. And I think once that started to happen with the measurables and then the people that really count in the evaluation where the GMs and the higher ups start to get really in this, that's when you start to go, he's climbing up boards. And it's just the people that really know what to look for are now going, whoa, this guy's got what we're looking for.
Yeah, they now have time to watch the tape.
Exactly.
And when they do that, they go, this dude's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah, he stepped up in the national championship game, had a career-high 7 pressures in that game.
He was phenomenal.
PFF says he dropped into coverage 26 times in 2021.
You see it all.
Versatile.
It's insane, bro.
All right, so the question from Good Nuz 08, is Travon Walker overhyped now? Has the love gone too far? Or was he overlooked for a while? You just mentioned that.
Yeah.
As someone who isn't a scout, I don't know if I should get excited if the Giants get to draft him or not. So, yeah, let's talk about draft position for this guy.
We should get excited.
Let's talk about draft position because there have been people that have said that the Lions should take him at number 2. Would that be too high?
No. No way. It's not. His guy has – he's not my number 1, like I said. He's 1A or 1B, whatever you want to say. He has a higher ceiling than the guy that I got at 1, all right? He does. He's got more potential to be a greater player than that guy, all right? But there's no weakness, let alone the floor is extremely high with this guy too. You're not going to go wrong with him. Your thing here is just going to go, wait, is he going to start for us for 8 years? Or is he going to start for us for 8 years and make 5 Pro Bowls and maybe like a few All-Pro teams? That's really what it's going to come down to. And I'm betting on the second part of that because the length, the power, the speed, like I talk about, like in the run game, the bendability, all of that, taking on people, being in an awkward position, still getting them off them to make a tackle. He is probably the most violent guy in this draft as far as throwing his body around, tackling. The change of direction for his size, like when you're talking about dropping into pass coverage and stuff. Like, come on. You're like, are you serious moving like that? Really? And he's another guy I just wrote the stats don't tell the story. He's very disruptive, and his potential is great. I mean, he could be Myles Garrett. He could be Michael Bennett for the Seattle Seahawks back in the day. There's a lot of different ways this can go, and he's the most strong and physically gifted of all these edge guys in the whole draft. That's what I'm going to say right there. So, again, this is if my Giants take him in the top 10, please sign me up. Yes, please. Thank you. I'll take it.
You think he's good at number 2? You think he's great at number 10?
Yes.
All right. So I think, Pete, have you been working furiously back there? NFLmockdraftdatabase.com. Oh, yeah, here it is. So here is his mock draft ranking throughout time here. So you go back to January 5th. He was right around 30. So end of the first round, then kind of dropped out of the first round. And then for some reason on March 6th, he went all the way down to like 45. What did he do? Did he have like a bad Instagram post or something like that?
That's funny.
Character issues got out there. And then he shot up. Then you get the combine, which is funny. And then he is in the top 10, and he's been creeping up there. It looks like he's like number 5 right now in most mock drafts.
Yeah, well, because I would think combine. See, what happens for a lot of these teams is they go to the combine. The coaches have only seen a handful of plays of these guys just so they have a little feel. And then combine happens, and now it's time to go home and study these guys that we met at the combine, and you've seen a few plays. And to me, that arc is exactly consistent with that of, oh, wait, we met the guy. Whoa, he's impressive. Whoa, the workout was impressive. I kind of like those few plays I saw before we started the combine. All right, so let's sit down and watch him. Holy shit, he has all that, and he's this guy on film? Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Holy shit, shooting up the rankings where every team was probably sitting there going, oh, nope, Southeast Scout has it wrong. His grade should not be a 6.1, blah, blah, blah. It should be a 6.9, a 6.8, something like that, and it should be up there with the top part of the draft. And I'm guessing that's probably what happened with this guy. This guy is definitely going in the top 5. There's definite. Like, I would be shocked. Definite top 10, but I would probably bet definite top 5 too.
If he doesn't go in the top 5, you will kiss my feet on this podcast. No, don't do that again. Don't do that again. We'll never do that again.
Oh, man.
It was uncomfortable for you and me and everyone watching. But no.
Man strength right
Travon
here with this
Walker,
guy.
Man strength.
Man strength.
So that leaves one. You got one left, and there are two guys that have been talked about as the number one pick a couple of times. Early in the year, that was Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon. Talked about, I think, kind of as the NFL season was starting. It's like, who's going to be the number one pick?
Yeah, he was the
this
name.
Edge rusher from Oregon was often talked about. And then here recently, we're talking about Aidan Hutchinson out of Michigan as what everyone thinks is going to be the number one pick by the Jacksonville Jaguars. One of these guys is not in your top 5, surprisingly, shockingly.
Yeah, right. You want to go there first, or you want me to say who the number one rusher is first?
Who's your
number one rusher is Aidan Hutchinson from Michigan. Okay? There you go. Now, I mean, he's a really damn good football player. Do we want me to get into the Kayvon Thibodeau stuff now, or just go all Aidan?
Let's do Aidan. I think we do Aidan. What do you think, Pete? Aidan?
Yeah. Let's do Aidan.
Let's do Aidan. Let's do Aidan.
I mean, dude's a baller. I mean, first off, he's 6'7". He's 260 and got a body because I met him at the Super Bowl where you go, he's just going to get bigger and stronger. He's just a little pup, and he's still growing. So it's just going to continue to fill out. The first thing you see when you turn on the film is the twitchiness and the quickness of the athlete. That's the number one thing. So you see it and you go, whoa, that dude's big at the end of the line of scrimmage standing up over there. And then you go, whoa, is he really that quick? I think that was the first thing that I came away with, that I just went, wow. I mean, the side-to-side quickness, whether it's the pass rush, to avoid a block, to break down, and, oh, wait, I shot through the C gap, and now the running back's here, and it's me and him one-on-one. I mean, all of that is, like, phenomenal. I mean, for a guy that's 6'7", 260, you just don't see that a lot, right? I mean, this is T.J. Watt, but he's 2 inches taller. That's where it's rare. Then you get into the player himself, all right? Pass rusher's really damn good. Doesn't have maybe the bend that we talk about that we love, a little bit like Travon Walker.
6'7".
But he's 6'7", exactly. It's long-legged guys. And the other aspect of this is exactly what I just said about Travon Walker, too, here is look at his three-cone drill. His three-cone drill is 6'7" I mean, that's elite slot receiver three-cone drill. That's like insanity. So Travon Walker had a three-cone drill like an elite receiver, and then Aidan Hutchinson said, no, I'll one-up you with, like, Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, slot receiver quickness. So that's where he can get away with that without that bend because, again, here's another guy who can just kind of stick his foot in the ground and really turn tight corners that way. So that's where he's good. But then you get into, like, phenomenal in the run game, Ahmed. Phenomenal. I mean, you can't put a tight end on him. It's over. Like you really, like, you get to game 5 or 6 after watching, you go, are they really going to put a tight end on this guy after the last games I just watched? Like, come on, that's stupid. And he does the same thing to tackles. He's got as good hands and ability to disengage in the run game as I've seen in a while. I mean, he's got that move down, too. They're coming at you. Boom, he gets them on you, and it just throws him to the side, and he makes a tackle. And he's in that wide base Cam Chancellor, and he's just really good like that. So that's where I was impressed. And then the hands are good in the pass rush, too. He's got good hands to get around the corner, stop a lineman from punching him in the chest, and give himself a little edge around the edge there. So, that's where the guy is a phenomenal football player. He's really a can't-miss prospect like Travon Walker. And I will say, the pass rush, it was real good. Did I sit there and go, oh, wow, oh, my gosh, I'm drooling? No, I didn't.
Where was it? Was it a lack of quickness, speed,
I
or
think
technique?
Like,
or
the
what?
first step was good, but it's not like, wow.
Yes.
The little bit of lack of a bend, that takes away from it. But the football player, I kept going, wow, 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 one after another. And then we get into that conversation a little like we talked about earlier. This is the king of quicks to power. He wins. In fact, there was a time in the tape where I was just going, is he ever going to win a pass rush just like the normal way? Or is he just going to always shake somebody and make them miss and then shoot inside or outside? And then as it starts to go on, he starts to do what we talked about before, the quicks to power, the shake and bake to power, whatever you want to call it, where he wins with quicks so much that now they're bracing for it. And he sees them brace for it, and he goes, well, now I'm going to overpower you. And he pushes them back and wins a lot that way. And as the year went on, he got better with bend and stuff like that too. So, I mean, again, this is I think a lot of these guys that we talked about are really good football players. This guy is phenomenal. He's elite quickness. He's an elite football player. Eyes into the backfield, like we talked about with Jermaine Johnson and even Travon Walker. They had this too. I should have said that about him. But the ability, always knows where the ball is. Always knows where the quarterback is in the pocket. The running back's coming my way, and I'm kind of holding my guy and waiting. And okay, he's going this way. Let me get him. I mean, he's phenomenal that way.
He was able to set the single season school sack record this past year. Didn't have any sacks in 2020, but missed some time. Missed a lot of time when he broke his leg. 2019 was playing a little bit of a different spot. So the production was elite this year. Wasn't necessarily that beforehand. But, part of the narrative on Aidan Hutchinson, a lot of people like him. A lot of people are mocking him in number one overall.
I would bet that's where he goes.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
The narrative kind of out there on him right now is that he's awesome. He should go number one. He's great. He's big. He's fast. He's powerful. He'll be a Pro Bowler. He won't be an All-Pro. He's going to be really good. He won't be one of the best edge rushers in the NFL.
I'm not ready to say that.
You think he could, if he maxes out, hits his peak potential, we could be saying 5 years from now, Aidan Hutchinson is the best pass rusher in the NFL.
Definitely. Do I see the ability to be Alden Smith, right, early in his career, who had 39 sacks in 39 games? Yeah. He's tall, athletic as hell. Wish his arms were a little longer, but I think he has those capabilities. I do. Again, the floor is extremely high, like we talked about. So there's no bad side to this pick at all. And no, I'm not ready to agree with that statement. I'm not. First off, too, with so many of these guys where I've been wrong about some of them before, like Danielle Hunter and that, these length, taller guys, they just got to learn a few new tricks and things to do, too. And they haven't been taught that because it's college football. It's not as nuanced that way. He's going to get around other good pass rushers and have more time to work on his craft. And like I've always talked about, too, with the other added element of the other alpha males in your room and what you're expected to do, it just drives up the intensity and the detail and all that, too, to where I'd go, no, I'm not ready to agree with some of those sentiments that are out there that are like that. Not at all. I think he will go to Jacksonville, the number one pick. Yeah. I say this, and like I said, not that I think it's overwhelming he deserves it, but I think you know what he is, you see what he is on film. With Travon Walker, we talked about there's a little bit of the projection aspect of we don't get to see him be the outside guy all the time.
Lockdown cornerback says, doesn't it seem like Walker has taken over the favorite for first overall? Think his potential is higher than Hutch, and he's more versatile. Thoughts? So this is what you're talking
about. That's what I was saying. I agree
here.
With exactly what our guy's saying there. Yeah, I think his ceiling is higher in Georgia. I get that. We got that, and the measurables are high, but it is still a little bit of wait, we didn't see him do this on a consistent basis. I've seen this guy do it all year long, whooping ass against Ohio State, really good in the Georgia game too, even though they got their ass kicked as a team, right? To where I go, no, this guy's got it all. He's got it all, and I mean, that's what he's going to be. He's a strong side defensive end, weak side defense end, and a 4-down front, whatever one you wanted to put him on. I don't think there's matters. He's athletic enough. If you want him to be 3-4 outside linebacker, he could do some of that. But he's not as good in space as like Travon Walker or Jermaine Johnson II. But he does have a little bit more of an element maybe to be like that 5 technique where he can play head up on a tackle. And because he's so strong and so violent with his hands and his upper body strength, that he can hold up against those guys and not be overpowered by a 340-pound big, NFL franchise left tackle.
So what you've seen so far, you think that Aidan Hutchinson and Travon Walker are the two most impactful football players in this draft?
I think so, yes. I think that's what I'm saying. Now, again, I haven't got to the tackles yet, and I know they're good. And sounds like there's 32 of them that can go in the first round. I mean, it sounds, but
haven't got the kickers and punters yet.
As I sit here, would think that they're going to go 1 and 2. I would, especially with those two teams who have real needs for it, and the defensive schemes they play. One, this is why I'll say, I mean, Jacksonville. Damn, hold on, I gotta look it up. Pull
up the teams.
I am. I'm a Jaguars. Defensive staff. They're here's the reason I wanted to say it. I'm going to get to it. Trent Baalke's there. All right.
Yep.
Trent Baalke, one of his first picks was the 49ers, was like Justin Smith from Missouri, right? Just tough, played, good football player, culture guy, going to make everybody play tough, and then was awesome Pro Bowl player for a bunch of players.
Yep.
I mean, Aidan Hutchinson seems like he kind of fits that. Let's change, the culture a little bit and all that stuff into the equation. I do think that, so I look at it.
And he used to work with Jim Harbaugh. I don't know that they always got along all the time, but I'm sure he's called them. And
sure, you're right.
Harbaugh's been very complimentary.
And here's my point, because I was getting to this and I blanked out exactly. Mike Caldwell, their new defense coordinator from Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I think they like bigger defensive ends. I think they're gonna be along that line of thinking. Number 2, Detroit. It's the Saints coaching staff. Who are their defense ends? Cam Jordan, right? Guys that are just not wide and just rush the passer. Oh, we need to stop the run. We need to. That's where Travon Walker, to me, he fits what they want to do too. The Saints defense ends are Cam Jordan and Marcus Davenport. They're both bigger defense end types. Can do. Oh, Cam Jordan, we needed to play 3 technique. It's 3rd down. We wanted to play defensive tackle here.
Sure.
No problem. 5 technique and a 3-4 scheme. Okay, no problem, right? So those 2 things alone made me think it's going to be Hutchinson, Travon Walker, 1-2 off the board.
Pete notes that Bulky helped sign Justin Smith, did not draft him.
Oh, okay. So it was helped sign him.
Already
okay,
been
cool.
in the league there.
Yeah.
Bengals drafted him.
Oh, Bengals drafted him. That's right. I remember that. Damn.
We just like to point out when you're a little bit wrong.
That's all
something.
good. I knew he ended up in San Francisco and Balky liked him. I knew that. I forgot about the Bengals drafting him. I played against Justin Smith in college. He was good, and he was definitely fit the crazy white guy mold of I hope he doesn't get me on the bottom of the pile because he might rip my ankle off or something.
If no one's watching, I will be dead.
Right.
Okay, so that's your top 5. I think we have one more look at it here. Aidan Hutchinson gets that number 1 spot. Travon Walker at 2. Jermaine Johnson out of Florida State, 3. What is it? What's his first name again? George, not Yorgo
Karlaftis.
4 out of Purdue, and 5 Nik Bonitto out of Oklahoma.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.